Morning, everyone. I realized yesterday when I was recording, I thought I saved the second part. No, I don't know what I did with it, so I'm having to do the second part again. I decided to get myself dressed today because normally I've been doing a lot of work around the house, and so I'm not getting myself dressed like I do for school or whatever I have to go to every day. So this is kind of new for me. And then this morning I was outside sitting here at my table. This is me and my little table. Getting ready for Vacation Bible School because I help my grandmother's church every year for Vacation Bible School. And it's something I like to do, and just lets me spend time with my grandmother and my family. And so it's out in East Texas. I wish it was here so y'all could go, but anyway, this year's a safari theme, so I was like, oh goodness. But anyway, back to our story. I went and I stopped right in the middle. Literally, chapter 1 only had a page and a half, and I was like, oh my, it stopped. So before I go on, yesterday I read a part about Mary's mother talking to an English general. And anyway, that's when they're being told the not so good news about the people in India and the cholera, that the disease that's going around right now, India, that is killing her ayah and other people that work for her parents. So anyway, this is about Mary. So this story, The Secret Garden, Mary is one of the main characters, and you're going to hear a whole lot about Mary. And right now, Mary is going through a really hard time, and she doesn't even realize it. And she's kind of growing a hard heart. So keep listening about Mary, because something will change. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting. Keep listening about Mary. It's something, it's exciting is going to be happening. So anyway, things will change and you'll get to see. Mary, starting at where I left off last time. Mary was standing in the middle of the nursery. Oh, excuse me. Hang on just a second. Where did I leave off? Oh, here we go. I'm going to skip 2 whole paragraphs for you guys. Many things happened during the hours in which she slept so heavily. But she was not disturbed by the wails and the sounds of things being carried in and out of the bungalow. When she awakened, she lay and stared at the wall. The house was perfectly still. She had never known it to be so silent before. She heard neither voices nor footsteps and wondered if everybody had got well of the cholera and all the trouble was over. She wondered also who would take care of her now her ayah was dead. There would be a new ayah. Perhaps she would know some new stories. Mary had been rather tired of the old ones. She did not cry because her nurse had died. She was not an affectionate child. That means she wasn't very loving. She wasn't an affectionate child and had never cared much for anyone. The noise and hurrying about and wailing over the cholera had frightened her. She had been angry because no one seemed to remember that she was alive. Everyone was too panic-stricken to think of a little girl no one was fond of. When the people had the cholera, it seemed that they remembered nothing but themselves. But if everyone had got well again, surely someone would remember and come back to look for her. But no one came. And she lay waiting. The house seemed to grow more and more silent. She heard something rustling on the matting, and when she looked down and she saw a little snake gliding along and watching her with eyes like jewels, she was not frightened because she was a harmless little thing who would not hurt her. He seemed in a hurry to get out of the room. He slipped under the door as she watched him. How queer and quiet it was, she said. It sounds as if there is no one in the bungalow but me and the snake, which is so funny because I've seen a lot of garden snakes at my house lately. I forgot about the snake. Almost the next minute, she heard footsteps in the compound and then on the veranda. They were men's footsteps. The men entered the bungalow and talked in low voices. No one went to meet or speak to them. They seemed to open the doors and look into rooms. What desolation, she heard one voice say. That pretty woman. I suppose the child, too. I heard there was a child. Though no one ever saw her. Mary was standing in the middle of the nursery when the door opened a few minutes later. She looked an ugly, cross little thing and was frowning because she was beginning to be hungry and feel disgracefully neglected. The first man who came in was a large officer she had once seen talking to her father. He looked tired and troubled, but when he saw her, he was so startled that he almost jumped back. "Barney," he cried out, "there's a child here." "A child alone in a place like this? Oh, mercy on us. Who is she?" "I'm Mary Lennox," the little girl said, drawing herself up stiffly. She thought the man was very rude to call her father's bungalow a place like this. "I fell asleep when everyone had the chlora, and I have only just wakened up. Why does nobody come?" "It's a child no one ever saw," exclaimed the man, turning to his companions. "She has actually been forgotten." "Why was I forgotten?" Mary stomping her foot. "Why does nobody come?" The young man, whose name was Barney, looked at her very sadly. Marian thought she saw him wink his eyes as if to wink back tears away. "Poor little kid," he said. "There's nobody left to come." It was in the strange and sudden way that Mary found out that she had neither father nor mother left. They had died and been carried away in the night, and that the few native servants who had not died also had left the house as quickly as they could to get out of it, none of them remembering that there was a Missy Sahib, and that's what they called Mary, that they worked for her. That was why the place was so quiet. It was true that there was no one in the bungalow but herself and the little rustling snake. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 1. I told y'all that I would show y'all my plants, and I did this on the video yesterday, but I guess it was erased. So anyway, I do not know how to turn the camera around. So I'm just going to show you. I started some more plants. These are the ones that I started from seeds here. I've got cucumbers and some squash, watermelon coming. I mean, look, this is one of my cantaloupe plants, and this is like huge. Anyway, these are some more watermelon plants. So I've got to get back into the ground because they've really taken off. I actually started growing these for the class when we did seeds and plant lives, and so I would bring them to school, and I still have more outside that I've got to go get today. And then my little hanging basket and hydrangeas and other little plants I do save rainwater when it does rain because I go through water so much around here. And then I started these guys from seeds as well. These are some of my favorite plants. I hope you can see because it's kind of bright out. Speaking of, I see a weed there. This nutgrass. I have to come out here every day to get this stuff. But these come back every year, and they're called princess feathers. And I love them. I started them from seeds too. So anyway, all these come back every year. I just planted this bush here this year, and I'm excited about it because I got it from back home where I'm from in Louisiana. And so one died and one made it through. So anyway, hopefully it'll make it through. But funny thing is I've had several plants that just kind of come up from me throwing out things. And this is one of them. My kids have like thrown out stuff. So I'm not sure yet. It is definitely some type of melon. I'm not sure yet if it's going to be a bell pepper or a cantaloupe. It's there. And then I have this one here that's come up by itself. And this is definitely either cantaloupe or it'll be either cantaloupe or some type of cucumber or squash. So, and then this is where I throw, literally I have a bucket that I move around. But this is where I throw, I know it's nasty because I've got watermelons in here now. And look, I've got more plants coming out of here that's just grown. So yeah, some of these things come up by themselves. It's kind of funny, I guess, as I'm on my way throwing stuff out. But I always tell the class, hey, I'll show y'all what I've growing out at my house. And Anyway, it's something that I enjoy doing, is planting and growing plants and tending to plants. I stay outside a lot in the summertime, just doing plant life. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed chapter 1. I'm gonna go ahead and record chapter 2 again since it's only race, which is okay because I was in my pajamas. Then I'll do chapter 2 so y'all can go ahead. And I was looking ahead because chapter 2, Mary is not having a good attitude, but I will say things are looking up for Mary, and there is one picture in chapter 2, so that's good. But I love this story. Parents, if y'all want to get this book, I like this version. Number one, I like it because I have poor eyesight even with glasses, and I can see the words. And number 2, it does come with pictures, so even though it's a chapter book, I like it that for the younger kids there is a picture every once in a while. So anyway, it's a great book. I hope y'all enjoy. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.